He gave us everything, and they made him pay for it forever. Before civilization, before fire, before hope itself, humanity lived in darkness. Not just the absence of light, but the absence of meaning. We were animals with potential, shivering in caves, eating raw flesh, dying young and forgotten. And the gods above? They watched. They didn't care, but one of them did. Prometheus was not like the other gods. He was a titan, one of the old ones, the race that ruled before Zeus and his Olympians seized power. When the Titans lost the Great War, most were cast into Tartarus, the deepest pit of the underworld. But Prometheus had sided with Zeus. He had seen the future and chosen the winning side, so he was spared. He was allowed to walk among the Olympians, but he never truly belonged with them. Zeus gave Prometheus a task: create mankind from clay and water, shape them, give them form. And Prometheus did. But he didn't just sculpt bodies, he made them stand upright, facing the sky, unlike every other creature that looked down at the earth. He shaped them in the image of the gods themselves. He loved his creation, maybe too much, because the more time he spent among humans, the more he saw how desperately they suffered. They were fragile, helpless. The gods had given them nothing: no claws, no fangs, no wings, just soft skin and empty hands. Prometheus went to Zeus and asked him to share fire with humanity. Fire, the one thing that separated gods from beasts. Warmth, light, the ability to cook food, forge tools, and survive the darkness. Zeus refused. Not because fire was sacred, not because humans were unworthy, but because Zeus understood something fundamental. Knowledge is power, and power shared is power lost. If humans had fire, they would grow, they would build, they would no longer need to beg the gods for survival. And a god who is not needed is a god who is not feared. Zeus wanted worship born from desperation. Prometheus wanted something better for us. So Prometheus made a choice that would define the rest of eternity. He climbed Mount Olympus in secret. He reached the sacred hearth where the divine flame burned endlessly, and he stole a single ember, hiding it inside a hollow fennel stalk. He carried it down to earth and gave it to humanity. Fire. With that single spark, everything changed. Humans learned to cook, to stay warm, to see in the night. They forged bronze and iron. They built cities. They created art, philosophy, medicine. Every advancement of human civilization traces back to that stolen flame. Prometheus didn't just give us fire, he gave us the future. When Zeus looked down and saw smoke rising from human settlements, saw the glow of forges and hearths, he understood immediately what had happened. His rage was absolute. But Zeus didn't just want to punish Prometheus. He wanted to make an example, a message to every god, every titan, every being in the cosmos. This is what happens when you defy the king of the gods. Zeus had Prometheus dragged to the Caucasus Mountains, the edge of the known world. There he was chained to a rock with unbreakable bonds forged by Hephaestus himself. And every single day an eagle, Zeus's sacred bird, would descend from the sky and tear open Prometheus's body. It would eat his liver, slowly, piece by piece, while he screamed. And every single night his liver would grow back, because he was immortal. He could not die, he could not escape, he could only endure the same agony every day for 30,000 years. Think about that number, 30,000 years. Not a week, not a year, not a century. 30,000 years of having your body ripped apart and reassembled, knowing that tomorrow will be exactly the same, all because he wanted humans to survive. And what did Zeus do to humanity? He couldn't take the fire back. It had already spread. So instead, he sent a different kind of punishment. Pandora, a woman crafted by the gods, beautiful and curious, carrying a jar filled with every form of suffering: disease, famine, war, grief, despair. When the jar was open, all of it poured into the world. Zeus punished Prometheus for giving us hope by flooding us with misery. Only one thing remained in the jar, hope itself, trapped at the bottom, close enough to see, but never quite enough to hold. That was the cruelest part. Zeus didn't take away hope entirely. He left just enough to keep us going, to keep us suffering, to keep us needing the gods. The ancient Greeks called Prometheus a trickster, a thief, a cautionary tale about hubris, the sin of reaching beyond your place. But look at what he actually did. He saw a powerful being hoarding resources from those who needed them most. He saw suffering that could be ended. And he acted, knowing the cost, knowing the punishment, knowing he would suffer more than any being in history. He didn't steal for himself. He stole for us. Eventually, Heracles came. Thousands of years later, the great hero climbed the Caucasus, killed the eagle with a single arrow, and broke the chains that bound Prometheus. Freedom, at last. But the damage was done. 30,000 years of unimaginable pain, not because he committed a crime, but because he committed an act of compassion in a universe ruled by power. Prometheus is the reason you're listening to this right now. Every technology, every comfort, every light that pushes back the darkness, it exists because one being looked at humanity and decided we deserve better. And he paid for that belief with an eternity of suffering. The gods wanted us in the dark. Prometheus said no. He is not a thief. He is not a trickster. He is the first revolutionary, and his fire still burns.